that star power.
Stay tuned because you know Reec is going to have one of your favorite stars with him today.
Stay tuned.
That's right, man. We are back at it. Reec Show Live. Shout out to everybody tuned in and tapped in right now. Shout out to our affiliate CMVA 107.5 up in Charlotte. We have royalty here today. Royalty here today. The lady with the $1 million smile is with us, Miss Rashan Ali. What's up, mama?
Hey, this is I am floored. This is amazing. I am super proud of you. This is great. I'm happy to be here today.
I see when somebody of your stature says super proud of me, that's like if a hooper came on and LeBron was like, I'm proud of you. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be smiling the whole episode.
Man.
I'm going to be looking all cheesy. Thanks, Rashan.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. But this is amazing. I'm so impressed. So impressed.
We're impressed with you. You are equally and basically above amazing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
We have to give you your flowers. So we do something here. It's called the biggest intro ever.
Okay.
And, on the show, everybody can't get this. You had to earn your stripes.
Okay.
But you have definitely earned
all
my
the stripes. I earned my stripes.
Over and over and over again.
Yes.
So I want to just give you your flowers right now.
Okay.
Your literal flowers right now. I did not practice. I never practiced my greatest intro ever. I just read it. I write it as I'm feeling it, and then I read it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For the greatest and biggest intro ever.
I'm ready.
All right. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Yeah, let's get into the mode.
Okay.
First of all, my fellow Cancer is in the building.
Yes, Cancer brother.
Let's do
it.
Eastside's own Hall of Fame FAMU Rattler comes from an iconic Atlanta family line. She's made an incredible impact on the major 3 radio brands in Atlanta. Probably right now the most competitive urban market on the planet.
Yes.
In addition to being one of the most powerful and recognized voices in radio, we've seen her face as well, gracing sidelines, courtsides, press junkets, as she's covered professional and major college athletics nationally for big outlets like CNN, CBS, CW, and more. Yes. All right, let's get tricky. That stuff we can she's taking her talents to the small screen, racking up major IMDb credits left and right, including working with several Tyler Perry produced features. She's educated us, brought us smiles, recipes, workout tips, and laughs while serving as part of the 4-headed unicorn known as Sister Circle TV. She's motivated thousands, and that may be an understatement, of young women and girls through her nonprofit, Sporty Girls. I've actually had the pleasure of promoting one of your events one time on the radio. But has also been a beacon of coolness, professionalism, class, and magic to countless others as we watch her and hear her on her many stages. Simply speaking, she is goals when it comes to motherhood, family, life, fitness, attitude, bounce back, reinvention, and longevity, all while looking the same age since the first time I saw you. I don't know what you drinking. Is it just water and cold face washes in the morning or what? Rashan Ali is live on the Reec Show.
Wow, that's a great intro. You got everything.
No, you did everything,
well, that
so
part.
I was able to talk about it.
That part. Wow, that was awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm cheesing so hard.
Man, listen, this is all about you today.
Thank you.
I'm just here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes.
I do want to talk to you about this because we're seeing so many women of color in athletics. Mm-hmm. And there's no more shut up and dribble, shut up and run, shut up and swim.
Right.
These ladies are making noise out here.
Absolutely.
Talking about mental health. They're in iconic roles when it even comes down to leadership right here when you talk about the Atlanta Dream. Mm-hmm. So the great things Renee's doing.
Yes.
I want to ask you, how does it feel when you see this, especially with like this close to it?
Oh, I mean, I think it's fantastic. I love Renee Montgomery. She actually came and spoke at our Sporty Conference, right when she was still playing with the Atlanta Dream. And she was like, I remember she looked at me, she's like, I want to do what you do. And I'm like, now I'm looking at her like she's owning teams. You know, I think she's covering, she's on ESPN doing coverage for the WNBA. Yeah. And I just love it. But to answer the question, I think it's fantastic. I think we've gotten to the point where we are just so tired and fatigued of having to play this role, and not the role, I mean, because we've chosen to be athletes, we've chosen to do what we want to do, but being able to talk about what comes along with that, because a lot comes along with that. What we've seen from Naomi Osaka and also Simone Biles, even Simone Manuel, who is an Olympic swimmer who actually was diagnosed with overtraining before the Olympics. And so she didn't really have a great showing in the Olympics, but you talk about somebody who's trying so hard to duplicate what they had done 5 years prior. The stress that comes with that. So to be able to talk about what's going on internally and what you are facing, I think is beautiful. I know a lot of people think of it, oh, that's a cop-out. They ain't real athletes and all that. Let me tell you something. We've been mustering this and hiding it for so long, but I'm glad that people are starting to talk about it. Like, we too have mental issues and things that go along with it, but I'm glad that we're not being silenced anymore. We're speaking our truth, and so many lives are being changed because of it.
Absolutely. Right now, we're with the incomparable Rashan Ali. She's kind of talking about it. You touched on it when you said we, because you know the athlete shoes. You know what the pressures of it is. They're trying to keep a scholarship, trying to thinking about going on a professional level. You know, after you leave college. Can you walk us through that a little bit, or give us maybe even just a tip of advice for the next up and coming young lady that's trying to swim her way through life? Yeah,
that's great. So I started swimming competitively at 5. My daddy was my coach, and I started swimming year round at 10, and so around 13, 14, I was like, I'm cool on swimming. That was long, because as
that's 5. That's almost a decade into your life already.
Absolutely. And swimming is not one of those. I mean, you dedicate your entire life to swimming.
Like tennis.
Yes, you literally, and like track and field, you literally dedicate your entire life. And so I was like, I'm cool on this. But then when college came around, I applied to Jackson State, North Carolina A&T, FAMU, and Tennessee State, and I got into all 4, but then the FAMU coach got wind that I swam. And he was like, hey, Coach Murkison was his last name. Hey, this is Coach Murkison from FAMU. We got money for you. And I was like, well, I guess I'm swimming.
Money for me. I might take you up on the offer, coach.
Right. And then I ended up getting an academic scholarship as well. So now I have 2 scholarships to pay for school with money left over. So I went. But, I did everything. So if I were a regular college student and people looked at my life, they'd be like, man, she did this. She was AKA, she was on the radio. She did a TV show, a local TV show. So I did a lot just being a quote unquote regular student. But you add on being a student athlete. That's
different, because I hooped in college. I mean, we had 6 in the morning practices. Then you got to go to class. Have to, but you're not playing, and then to stay eligible, and then we have practice again in the afternoon. And then knowing like a sport like swimming, it's like hooping. We have a season, and then the season is over. It's not like that with swimming.
Listen,
you just go.
You mentioned the 2 days. We were in the water my freshman year at 4:45 in the morning.
Sheesh.
4:45 in the morning. You go to class, and you try to. I'm a girl. I'm a woman. So I'm like, let me go. And I'm from Atlanta, so you got to be fresh. So back then, that's when like the Tommy Hilfiger and the Guess and the Timbs, and that's when girls wore a whole lot of baggy clothes, because that was that TLC era. And so let me go get fresh for class. Go get fresh for class. Go to class, and then come back to the pool at 12 o'clock. So I'm seeing women, men go to their dorms, go to the cab. I'm like, you gonna go to sleep? What it feel like? And like you said, swimming was almost year round. We swam from August, and our championships were in February. And then back then, FAMU got out in late March. So I literally had 1 month to kick it.
Sheesh.
It was awful.
And then athletes don't really have a break.
No.
You don't have the Christmas or the Thanksgiving break, because you might have practice, or you might have a meet or a competition.
Absolutely. So you got to go home and get with your home coach, and practice with him, get in that pool. Because, as with anything, basketball, as with anything as an athlete, you take 2-3 days off. It will show. It will show. And so I would encourage anybody who wants to be a student athlete, know what you're getting into. It takes complete dedication of your entire life, and you got to be really disciplined. But I look back on it, and I'm like, it was really just a precursor. It was a preface to what my life is today. Doing it literally today. I'm gonna tell you this. I worked out at 6 o'clock. Came home, took my older daughter to school, made her breakfast, made sure she was straight, tapped up her hair a little bit, went back to the gym to do cardio, went home to do my voiceover lesson, and then took a shower. Tried to get halfway cute to come here. You know what I mean? Then I gotta go pick up again, going to a wedding tonight. You know what I mean? So it's nonstop.
It made you who you are.
Absolutely.
And got you ready.
It got me ready.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's what I love it,
Yeah.
man. I'm glad some people out there listening, because sometimes we see the end product, but we don't understand the work and the journey that it took to get there.
Man, listen.
And now, you know what I love? What you said? You said, I'm taking a voiceover coach, taking a lesson.
Yes.
Somebody of your stature, people on outside looking in would say, she don't need a lesson. She does this. But you like, you know what? This is my craft. I want to be the best at it.
Absolutely. And I do take it seriously. I reached out. This is a funny story. And I know we got time. Do we have breaks? Time. Okay,
this
great.
Is what I love about this.
Yes, I love it. Look at me. I'm like,
Right.
I'm so used to regular radio.
Like,
I'm
hold
like,
on, let's go to the quick break.
Right.
We about to talk.
When is the stop set? When is the stop set? So I reached out to this woman who I worked at LaFace Records when I graduated from FAMU. I wanted to go to film school. My mom said no, had to come back here, figure out what my life was. So like 3 jobs into, after graduating from FAMU, I got a job at LaFace Records working in the music video department. So I was responsible for the videos and treatments and paying Hype Williams and all these people. But I also was responsible for the commercials that we did, promo commercials. And so I booked this woman. Her name is Dawn Bino, and her voice was just incredible, and I loved her. And we've always followed each other since then, just like over the years. And we ended up going to the same church together later on. But I reached out to her recently, probably a month ago, on Instagram, because I've been wanting to get into voiceover. But once you've been trained in radio, everybody thinks that we're supposed to be the best at voiceovers, but we've been taught a certain cadence.
Right.
But we've got to learn how to really do voiceover work.
It's a different skill.
It's a different skill set.
Right.
And so I knew that, and I knew that she was like the best. And so when I'm talking to her last week or a couple of weeks ago, while we're setting everything up, kind of doing our introduction call, hey, how you been doing? This is what we're going to work on. Looking forward to it. Let's schedule. She was like, Rashan, you never know. I said, she said, you changed my life. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was 22 years old when I hired her as the voiceover talent. She said, me and my husband had just come down to Atlanta. I was a voiceover recording artist in New York. She was on Broadway.
Yeah.
She was doing her thing. She's a singer. Right. And she and her husband said, well, let's make a move to Atlanta. She had just had her second son. Both of them are married now. This is the length of, time that has passed. And she said she went to different agencies all over Atlanta and like, hey, I'm Dawn, and this is what I've done in New York and all this. And they were, and all the agents were like, yo, you can't just walk in here. Like, you have to submit, and back then that wasn't the internet, not uploading. You literally have to put your stuff in a package
together and give it,
send it. And no, we don't do that. So she had gone to all these agencies. So she had come to one where there was an agent and a voiceover agent in the same, kind of the same space. And one of the guys, his name was Richard, and this is the guy who I always connected with, said, oh, well, we have, I'll listen to your reel. So he listens to a reel. He's like, hey, we've got this audition from LaFace Records. If you book this audition, I'll represent you.
And you can stay.
You can stay, right? I had sent Richard the script for the commercial for Donnell Jones' album.
Wow. Not the way I want to be.
Right. Well, yes, that album.
Okay, then.
Yes, that one. She booked it.
Sheesh.
He started representing her, but I gave her first job in Atlanta.
We got a hype bill here.
Right.
It's extremely unprofessional.
Right.
But we hit it a lot. We're going to keep wearing the paint off this thing.
It's totally fine.
Right.
But she had never told me that story. But so she felt so indebted to the fact that I reached out to her to be my voiceover coach. And that is. I have so many stories like that, though.
I know you do, because one thing I will say, every time I see you, the energy is amazing. It doesn't matter. I don't know what kind of day you may have went through prior to me bumping into you before. It's always like, oh, what's up, Reec? And I was like, girl, she just don't understand how, because if I listened to radio before I was on radio, I heard you. You know what I mean? If I watched TV before I was on TV, I see you.
Right.
So I'm like, this is amazing that somebody in a space I love to be in, that is so good at it and dope at it, and respect it. It's like showing me love. It's crazy. So that's dope.
That's that's just a testament to my parents and how I was raised. And also, having been around, I was Left Eye's, but look, I've had many jobs. I was Left Eye's personal assistant as well before she passed away. And I was able to really see what, a multi-platinum artist, what their lives were really like and how they had to navigate and who was trying to leech on and all these things. And I made a promise to God that when I had a platform that I would do it the way that God intended for it to be done. be open to people, be loving on people, making sure that every experience that you had with someone was something that they would remember and they can hold on to, because there's so many people that aren't like that.
Yes.
So I didn't want to be like that. So I am like this way. This innately, that's who I am. But I also made a promise to God to remain true to who I am and remain true to God, who God made me to be.
Talk about it. Let me hit that, because I know probably many opportunities come just being like that, and just people's like, you know what, I would love to work with her.
Listen, there are people who are way more talented than me. I know this full well. There are people that can run circles around me in radio, television, acting, but because I have always been nice and solid, is because that is the reason why I continue to work. Yeah. I know that full well.
Y'all listen, I need everybody to be listening. Cut this part out right here, right? Because that's real. I mean, it's like you said, people could be more talented, but then who are you when you come to the table and then when you walk off the camera? Yes.
What do you do when the cameras aren't on? Do you still follow the rules? Are you still that same solid person? And I literally said that today. I was like, it was a 4-way stop. I'm taking my daughter to school. I didn't have to stop.
Right.
No one was around.
Nobody's looking.
And I literally stopped and I reminded myself, what do you do when nobody's watching?
That's it.
And I constantly make sure that I am the same person when I am in front of people and when I'm not.
Right.
And I think that's what people see and what people get to experience when they are around me.
I could vouch.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm serious. I mean, it's crazy when you move around and you just don't know how people notice you. But like, I'm just telling you, outside looking, I always notice. I was like, man, she's so cool. Some people aren't. I'm not gonna name any names, but I appreciate you. I just appreciate who you are.
There's a lot of them that ain't, man.
Right.
Man.
Let's talk about Cool Soror. I love it. I love the concept. It's like perfectly made for you.
Thank you.
Like etched in stone for you. I love it. Tell me about how the brand, how it got started. And then, the journey a little bit.
Yes.
About it. Yeah.
Well, I'll first say, before I even start about it, I'm really just inspired because I've really been sitting on my tail and needing to get it back up. And people have been asking, and I knew God needed me to see this space so that I can say, because I have a vision for, my own brand to be very similar to this. And so thank you so much for being obedient to the call on your life so that I too can do the same by seeing what you have done. So Cool Soror came, my friend and business partner, Anthony AJ Joyner, who's an outstanding businessman. He's got a new platform called Blooksy that is outstanding. But we met up and he was like, yo, you need to start a podcast. And I'm like, what am I going to talk about? This was one of those times I got let go from radio. You know how I go. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. What am I going to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, all right. So we kept putting it in my head. And he was the one that helped me do the Sidekick. It was an online course teaching women about being in radio. And so he helped me do that. And he was like, you need to start this podcast. So I'm literally walking up to Topgolf. And I had on a hoodie.
It's some AKA stuff.
Well, it wasn't. Not this time.
I can't believe it.
It was Keenan Johnson's Never So Dope sweatshirt.
Gotcha, yeah.
I had on like a Louis backpack. I had on like some, my signature like high top, something fresh. And I told myself, man, you such a Cool Soror. I was like, Cool Soror. I said, oh my God, that's dope.
Then the sound went off.
Right. I went into Topgolf before I even went to the party that I was supposed to go attend. I went to Instagram, I went to Twitter, I went to GoDaddy, and I reserved Cool Soror everything.
It's life lessons.
Right.
If you have an idea, buy the domain.
Buy the domain immediately.
Even if you don't use it, get it.
Yes, because you never know who you're going to be fighting for.
Right.
Fighting to get it. And I immediately did that. But at first I was like, oh, we're just going to do clothes. Yeah. And when I told AJ, and he was like, that's your podcast idea. You can interview women in all Black Greek letter organizations about their journeys. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. And literally in 2016, was it 2016? Yes, is when I launched Cool Soror, and it was so it still is great, and I'm going to get back to it. This is again another confirmation that I need to do it. I've heard it like 3 or 4 times this week, and it's not that I stopped it. It's just that you go through these different things in life where you're like, I don't even know if I have the mental space, or what am I gonna do?
You got a lot going on.
I do have a lot going on, but I need to go ahead and get back on because so many people have asked about it, and so we did so well. Started getting a little advertising and all
information,
and it is, and you get to hear these stories because everybody has a story.
Yes.
Everybody has a story, and so I've gone on to do Cool Bruh and Cool People because I wanted to broaden the brand a little bit. But I love it, and now we have the branding and the merchandise and the actual Cool Store brand has grown tremendously with my partnership with Shop LHP, Legacy History Pride. So it's going very well, and we will be relaunching.
Hey, I can't wait.
How about
we need that date. You got to come back up here too and talk about that date.
Yes,
we can't wait because it was, like I said, it was so dope information.
Thank you.
Some people I was like, I didn't know that was that.
Right.
That's crazy. I didn't know. You know what I mean? Because it's not information that's just right out there.
Right.
I'm glad you let the bros in.
Absolutely.
A little inclusive.
Absolutely. I love it because again, everybody has a story.
Right. It's absolutely right now we're Rashan Ali for those tuned in on the radio, and shout out to CMVA 107.5. Everybody tuned in to Reec Radio app. We are kicking it right now. We're talking about your journey. We do have a question from the internet.
What is going on the internet?
They're trying to get some gossip from all the Queens Men season 2. They're trying to get a little, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
we don't want to compromise your employment.
No,
but, we want to know how fun was being on set. Like, talk to us.
Listen here. That was one of the. So okay, I got cast on Tyler Perry's Sisters for season 2. I was on 1 episode. So this was right when the pandemic hit and right when production started. Tyler Perry was the first production studio to go back
because he has a whole country.
He has
a
whole
country inside of Georgia.
Absolutely. So we were in Camp Quarantine that first time, and I was like, "Wow, this is outstanding." As a parent,
walk us through. I'm sorry, I just want to slow you down because we have so many people that watch that actresses. You're talking about the campus. You're on his basically little neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a huge 330-acre campus where there's officers' homes and barracks that they've converted into apartments. I mean, he has sound stages that are named after prominent black people, black actors, in Hollywood, all over. I mean, you have everything, and then he has all of his sets too, and then you have Actors Row where all the business is taken care of, and where they shoot like Young Dylan and shows like that. Like everything is there
in house,
and
you get to stay there safely because everybody's on the quarantine, but you're there on there. But it's not like you're just in a little hotel room.
No, because we stayed in the officers' homes, so these are historical homes. They have refurbished them a little bit, but because once you are on historical land, there's a deal that you have to make with that you can't.
You have to leave certain things.
You have to leave certain things, but they're still beautiful homes, hardwood. You can tell, and they have the what do you call the thing that you go underground if the bonds start?
Oh, like the little shelters, bomb shelters,
the bunkers. The bunkers are still in these homes.
Wow.
But they're absolutely beautiful. So the actors stayed in those homes, like all of the, everybody stayed in those homes. So I had a roommate. My first roommate, her name is Tanel. So that was fantastic. And like a production crew and hair and makeup, and even some of the actors who might have been background, they stayed in the barracks that they converted to apartment rooms.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, and it was so safe because literally, before we even got on set, you had to take a litany of COVID tests. This was before the vaccine was even available. And then when you got there, we tested every 2 days. So as soon as anybody was positive, they were escorted off.
Gotcha.
So everything was very, very safe. It was fantastic. So I finished shooting Sisters, got another opportunity to audition for All the Queens Men.
Hey.
And it was one of those auditions, and because we get auditions like, you have a self-tape due tomorrow, and it's like today at 9 p.m.
10 minutes, you got 40 lines.
Exactly. Like,
do it.
Right.
Shout out to Gil Talent.
Thank you, Gil Talent. Yes. Genya will, she will get you together. You understand me? You have an audition due today? I'm like, okay. So I get the audition for All the Queens Men. And, you have to have a reader and all of that. So my husband read with me. So he reads with me. And then, sometimes you'll get like 2 different deadline, like like the casting director saying one, and then then our agency is taking another.
Right.
So I was like, let me just go with the earlier date. And I'm like, I literally ran through the audition. I was like, I was looking real cute. I had come from somewhere. My makeup was done.
Right.
And literally, I said, you know what? That'll be the role I get, because I was rushed. I didn't know what the time it was. Got the role. Got the role. Genya called me. Yeah.
There we go.
Got the role as Miss Tandy, who is very free. So when Genya called, she was like, you got the role. I was like, oh my God. But I knew going in that this role would call for nudity.
Yeah.
So she said, you're on hold, but you have to agree to this. So I was like, let me call you right back.
Right. Let me call home.
Let me call Shawty, who I've been married to at this time. This was we were 18 years. We just made 19 years.
Hit the button.
Yeah. So one time, we were looking at Lala on Power.
Right.
She had a sex scene.
Yeah.
He looked at me, he's like, hey, baby, tell me, just make a promise to me that you'll never do a scene like this. And I was like, okay.
Right.
Until you land a role.
Until Tyler Perry called during the pandemic. And it's like...
and Sister Circle just got canceled.
Right. Like, come on, man.
So, and then she told me what I could be making per episode. Like, excuse me, hello, is this thing on? Hello, are you that number really?
Right.
Okay, all right,
they
cool.
just gonna get the side a little bit.
Right.
Turn to the side.
So yeah, I'll walk you through that too, because it's very interesting. I'm so glad we have time. I feel like so important. So I called Brian. That's his real name. Call him Smitty. I've called him Smitty on the radio forever. I was like, hey, honey. And I was like, babe, I got the role. He's like, oh man, that's dope. I'm so happy. Whoa. Oh, I was like, there's a caveat.
It's just one small thing.
Just one small thing. There could be some nudity. He's like, oh man, man.
That's tough.
And he was like, how much? I was like, babe, I don't know.
Right.
And he took a deep breath. I guess he prayed, and he was like, go ahead.
Look, shout out to all the being supportive of their wives.
Yes.
'Cause they know that you're not going to do nothing crazy.
Right.
They know it's all in the form of art.
Thank God.
I don't know if I was that big of a person.
Listen.
Just hit that button for me being petty.
I'll say this. He still has not watched the show.
I don't blame it.
It's been out for a long time. It's been out long enough for him to have watched it.
But he agreed.
He did.
So that's what's up.
He did. And I made sure, to let everybody know that there was a level of uncomfortability there. And so they actually have intimacy coordinators that you speak with prior to even getting on set to say what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, and then they really adhere to that. And then once you get on set in preparation for the scene, you meet with your scene partners. They have these Gumby dolls, literally Gumby dolls, to show you the position that the director would like, and then talk to you about what you feel comfortable with. So I told my scene partner, I was like, hey man, just hold on to these, because I don't really want those shown.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the scene, I was very pleased with it.
That's what's up.
I was very pleased with
that is great information, because you see the professionalism of it.
Yes.
It ain't just like, all right, y'all jump in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they going to go through it with the live action. They have somebody to talk to you. And this way you don't end up with one of them Me Too situations.
Absolutely. And then you're all covered up. They have, the skin tone covering ups, and there's prosthetics and all of that,
Gotcha.
that are there. And in place, per se. But it was great. I love playing Miss Tandy, though. I know that was the initial question.
Right.
She is very free.
Okay.
And she is the epitome, I think, of what a lot of women want to be, but societal norms have told them that they can't be. And so I love playing characters that you get to be something completely different.
Halloween at work.
Or is she?
Yeah,
she just may be in there somewhere.
So Smitty, I know her.
Right.
But that's dope to see that you can express that range
yes.
on camera. We've heard you do it. Radio, we've heard you do it.
Right.
And then we've seen you do different things, but on camera, just to see a whole nother you was like, wow, okay, you trying to get these Emmys.
Well, and that too, Reece, and also I've been very safe in my career. Like, I've not had any. You ain't gonna hear nobody say nothing about me or say anything bad.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
You not a clickbait person.
No.
You have a lot of integrity. I'll put it that way.
Right.
And to be in this business, in this market, this many years, you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
To not have any dirt.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hit the bell for no
Thank
dirt.
you. So, I took that into consideration. Like, what will this do? And I had to take Rashan out of it and say, you are an actor, ma'am, and this is what it calls for. And I had to talk to Genya, and we keep referencing Genya. She is our like main agent, especially here in Atlanta, at Guild Talent. And so I talked to her like after I shot it, and she was like, Rashan, it's fine. You're gonna be fine. Just think about Kerry Washington when she did. She had like a scene, and I think I Love My Wife, and she was like, she got Scandal right after that. So it gives for directors when they see that an actor is not, or directors and casting agents that an actor may not be afraid to do certain things. It opens them up for even more opportunities. And it doesn't say anything about Rashan. It just shows that Rashan, as far as character development, is not afraid.
That's what we're going to leave it right there.
How about that?
Listen, y'all get ready for season 2.
Yes.
It's going to be more tandy.
That's what they asked. So there will be, but I mean, I think there will be a season 2, coming very soon. And y'all, we'll give y'all, sneak peeks on Instagram, like Set Life, and then you'll know, right?
Can't wait. Right. Speaking of Instagram, we were fortunate to be part of a real situation. And you motivated me to start doing push-ups in the morning.
Well, good.
You was getting to it.
I was.
Yeah, I was in my 3rd trimester messing around with quarantine food and sitting down.
Yep.
I'm getting back down.
Good.
And you motivated me. I'm no cap. Like, you really motivated me because I saw those workout videos. I was like, look at sis doing her thing.
Yeah. And we spoke earlier about being an athlete. Once you're an athlete, you're always an athlete. Yeah. And I've always pushed myself when it comes to working out and doing certain things, even though it's like I don't enjoy it, but I love the results.
The results, and that's what I'm on.
Yeah.
So like you said, once you're an athlete, you're always an athlete. I might go hoop somewhere, and my mind is telling me yes, but my body's telling me no.
Oh, right. What are you doing?
But I'm like, oh man, if I can make that move, I'm about to go work out. So it's like you get that competitive edge, competitive spirit. But yeah, the results will definitely push you to keep going.
And so I wanted to, I've done half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks. I've done 3 triathlons, sprint triathlons. So the lower mileage. But I was like, after quarantine, I picked up a little something. So during quarantine, I was working out, but I was also drinking wine, a lot of it. So it didn't really.
Right.
It
ain't water. It ain't the right hydration for the situation. Right.
So coming out of that, I was like, let me shock my body. And so I wanted to do a bikini competition. I wanted to do a fitness competition, and I started training towards that. And I started in February, and I did my first show in July.
I saw that. I saw the pose. You was hitting the pose. You was hitting
right. And I'm training for another one. I'm doing another one in a little over a month, November the 13th.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in game mode because in the bikini competition or that category, the glutes and the hamstrings are the most important. It's weighed the most. And I wasn't really born with a regular black girl butt. I mean, it get thick when I get thick.
God gave you other attributes.
You know what I'm saying? My face is bomb.
That's what I'm talking about.
He gave me that. But so I have to work on that. So we're in the process of gaining a little bit. So I've gained 6 pounds, but also my body fat has decreased tremendously. So I'm at 14.4% body fat, which is great, especially for a woman.
Right.
So I'm very pleased with where I am. So then we'll go down to the sculpting, and I'll get back down to that for a stage. Right. But I'll be much leaner, and you can see the glute and the ham separation because that's all we've been working on.
Look at her teaching us how to be on stage in the competition.
Yeah, I love it. It's like being in a movie. It's like, I love the lights.
Yeah.
I love the lights.
I mean, you shine when you're on stage, so it's all good.
Thank you.
That's it, man. I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I do want to ask you these questions. We got this thing called the Fast Four.
Okay.
And I want to get your answer on these Fast Four things.
Okay.
All right, here, you ready?
I is ready.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite thing for a date night?
I love to go out to eat.
Okay.
I love to go out to eat. I'm a fine dining princess, honey.
Okay, give me a restaurant.
I mean anything, like anything fine dining. Like we go to South City Kitchen a lot. Okay. Love Houston's. We love New York Prime.
You said Cooks and Soldiers.
I love Cooks and Soldiers.
Yeah,
it might that my husband, he's still like a steak and potato. Like I have to open his mind up to different things. Open your palate up. But I love that. And and one thing that I do, and I encourage other women to do that, take yourself out to eat. I take myself out to lunch. I take myself out to dinner. It's great.
I do that with myself too.
Oh, okay.
I just look weird just by myself.
No, my husband loves the movies. He does that too. So it's all good.
I'm not weird.
No, you're not. You're not.
So we got some good restaurant ideas from and King and Duke. Well, all the good restaurants have a plus sign in the middle.
I know. You know King and Duke is great.
Yeah, they got some good food.
They got good drinks.
All right, listen. 3 albums. You're on a desert island. You got to bring 3 albums with you. What albums is Rashan Ali bringing?
Southern playalistic, Cadillac, funky music.
So that's cheating because it's like 40 songs on there, and every song is 10 minutes. So you,
I'm good. That's one. Wow, what's another album? Come on, Rashan.
The clock is on.
Jeezy's first album.
Okay, yeah.
The first album.
Yeah.
1 through I think 17. Yeah. I can rock with that. Yeah.
And he gonna take you on a trip.
Yes. Yep. I love that. That Po Jeezy.
Yes.
Not Jeezy's in Santorini, Greece.
Right. Everybody loved Hungry Jeezy.
Right. Golly, and the third one, because that's too hip hop. But those are like songs that
That's fine. This is your album. No, but we're not finna judge you off of your albums.
Right.
There's a couple of R&B features on there, so we good.
Right. Man, I've really just been in love with her for I'm looking forward to seeing her at One Music Fest next weekend. I probably would say her, you know, like a her station
that is a good balance.
Yes, I know, right? I love all kinds of music though.
You're gonna trap a little bit. You're gonna be cool. Yeah. You know, you're gonna get a little R&B vibe. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Not mad at
but
all.
then I like Little Dragon. I like all kinds of music though. So that's hard.
It is.
I don't know if I like that question. But okay, it's fine.
I'm sorry. Look, she didn't like my question.
No, I love it. It's your question.
All right, listen, we know you sat down with almost everybody. Right? So if you get an interview table, 5 seats, who was at those 5 seats? Could be here or not.
Wow. Well, one of those seats would be 50 Cent.
Okay.
He was one of the best interviews I've ever conducted. Twice I interviewed him. The second person would be Chameleonaire. Okay. He was one of the. He's in my top 5.
Yeah, I need to hear everything he's doing right now.
Right, because he's doing like stuff in technology.
Yeah, him and Slim Thug are getting a bag.
They're getting a bag.
I hope the IRS isn't watching.
Right. Right. I would sit down. Robin Roberts, for sure. I got 2 seats left. Oprah. That makes sense, right? Right. Can't go wrong with Oprah. Wow. These are great questions.
Thank you.
And I'm glad I didn't know them ahead of time.
Radio Vet said I have great questions.
Yeah. Who's that 4th seat?
Got 50, Chameleonaire, Robin Roberts, Oprah.
Believe it or not.
And then you get Gail just because she came with Oprah. So now you have one more seat. She snuck in an extra seat.
Man. God, that's good. I know we gotta get out the radio soon.
Oh, you good.
Who would be my 5th person? There's so many people. I never got a chance to interview Pac. I would have loved to interview Pac.
I like that. I would love to hear him in 50's conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we never got a chance to see Pac grow into the man that we know that he was. He was. Yeah.
And Pac was on his way. He was on his way to become an executive.
Yes.
With his mind frame of just his militant mind frame, business mind frame, and no nonsense.
Right.
We needed to see that.
See, the thing that we were able to, and obviously Tip has had some. What human hasn't had any missteps? So we've been able to see totally from the trap to become like a businessman. Yeah. Obviously the last thing that they've been going through has been a lot and taking a toll on his family.
His second and third showings have been awesome. Amazing. Right.
And we've been able to see that. We didn't get to see that with Pac or Biggie. You know what I mean?
Pac with social media would have.
Oh my! Listen, I'm just glad social media wasn't around when I was in college.
Me too.
I might not be here right now.
Right.
I might not be here right now. No, I'm kidding.
We're kidding, but not.
Yeah. I'm just happy there wasn't. Like, just think about all that stuff.
It was a lot of stuff going.
It was, but all you have is your memories and maybe a couple of
Polaroids,
or a couple of the cameras that you put at the CVS, and then you get them out. Like, oh girl, look at this picture.
Man, I developed one of those cameras like maybe 2 years ago.
Randomly,
from college. I found it and I was like, oh, it's still a film in it. Can I even get this developed?
Exactly.
For finding some, I like mailed it in and got the pictures back, and I was like, ooh, no, can't show none of these.
Oh my God.
I just put it to you like this. You remember the little club that used to be next to the varsity, Club Envy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Club Envy. It was that night and a couple of rows from around the bounce and then the Peachtree, the strip on Peachtree.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a great night.
Crunk era.
That was. Don't you miss old Atlanta?
I miss old Atlanta. I miss the crime. I love new Atlanta because of the opportunities it's bringing.
Yeah.
There's so much creativity. I love old Atlanta because it knew how to party. Like, it knew how to have a good time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Like,
old Atlanta.
I'm so mad at that. Dang, I would have had this the whole time.
That's our fault.
It's okay.
So, yeah, I miss the energy of old Atlanta because there was a whole lot of, like, just people being people.
Right.
And it wasn't like the section type of party.
It wasn't pretentious at all.
No, not at all.
I remember going on Tuesday nights. This is when the Velvet Room was cracking on Peachtree. This is when I was at the Face Records in my early 20s. Every Tuesday night was industry night.
Yeah.
And we would be in that mug. I mean, we would have one. I mean, the women didn't even have, we might have had on lip gloss and like a little mascara. You know, it wasn't all that made up stuff. And we just literally went in there to have a good time.
The music's gonna play. The host is probably the DJ. If not, it's the host, and you just gonna have fun. You're gonna be sweaty.
Yes.
But you're gonna have fun.
And praise God that I made it home because
drinks were very affordable at that time.
They were very affordable. I'm in the industry. I'm in my early 20s. You know what I mean? So it was just like I'm at LaFace Records.
Right.
You know how big that was?
That's the pinnacle.
Yes.
That is the only major record label in Atlanta with all the artists.
Man.
Right.
And I'm working with everybody from Usher to Goody Mob to Tony Braxton.
And this is during the heyday. I'm talking
heyday.
about Outkast just went diamond.
Right.
You got TLC, Usher, Goody Mob,
Pink.
Donnell Jones, Pink. Come on.
I was with Pink when she was still R&B. I did her first R&B video out in LA. There you go. Absolutely.
I remember that video coming on the music box.
Yep.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, I've been around a long time.
That was a good time. We can't tell by your face.
Well, thank you, darling.
There you go.
I drink lots of water. I've got good genes too. My mama got some real pretty skin.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I do take care of it too. But the water is everything. I drink at least no less than a half a gallon a day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated. And that black don't crack unless you smoke it.
That's true.
Put it together.
Yeah, that's true. Right. That's true. That's true.
All right, last question.
Okay.
Advice you would give Rashan Ali before your first professional radio contract?
It don't last forever. It doesn't last forever. Reece, I was pregnant with my second baby, who's now 12. This was after like a huge shakeup when they brought in the Ricky Smiley morning show. They took off the 18 morning show, let Maria go, which they should have never done that. And then put me at middays. I don't talk to myself. I can't do it. I like to talk to people. Right. I am a person that's an ensemble cast type of person.
Why your interviews are amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And they walked in there and let me go. I was the highest paid radio personality on Hot when the A-Team was like at its peak. Right. And
rightfully.
Yes, thank you. And you go from having billboards all over the city. This is when it was big. Yeah. Billboards on 20, 285. Buses everywhere. I mean, you see my face with my spiky hair and literally they were like, this is your last day. Thank you so much for your service, and walk you out.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Walk you out.
Walk you out
like you about to steal something. Like you steal.
I don't steal.
Right. And like, we'll coordinate another time for you to come get your things. Wow.
Why? Really?
So it made me realize then you go from making a certain amount of money in the club for 2 hours to like hoping or like knowing that you're going to get probably half of that from your unemployment on Thursday.
Right.
because I went from billboards to walking in the unemployment line. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So I got stories for days. Yeah.
That'll be our second interview.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Rashan Ali, uncut.
Yes. Yeah, this is great. I like being interviewed because I got so much to say and share.
You got a lot of history.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a bonus question that's not on this sheet. Give me an interview that you had that you were like, you were up for, you were ready for, and then it gave you everything you wanted. I know mine was naughty by nature. Cause I grew up in New Jersey, East Orange. Well, Montclair, but I stayed in East Orange, and they used to throw this pool party every year. And as a kid, like I couldn't get in the pool party, but I used to sneak in. Shout out to Pops listening right now. It's the first time him knowing this. I used to sneak into the pool parties, right? And it was crazy. And they were like the first rappers that made it in our, area. So it was like something to look up to, look forward to, right? So fast 4 years later, interviewing them on their tour to Atlanta, I was like, bro, I cannot wait to tell them about sneaking into this pool party, and seeing them at the McDonald's on Park Avenue and all that. And we're talking, and the interview just turned into something else.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Gosh, man. Oh, Reece, I've had so many of those interviews.
All right, well, let's do this.
Thank you.
Give me a moment to where you were like, well, I'm really doing it. That first moment, oh, snap. Crazy.
It's crazy. It wasn't in the studio. It was at a Falcons football game.
Okay.
And this is when Griff was on the show. When Griff came, like the second wave, when it was the Ryan Cameron morning show, and then he left and went to V, and then I became the host. Boy, they did not want that to happen. They tried everybody before they were like, let her do it then, and then it became a success. It worked. Right. See,
let's see.
Women can lead in morning radio.
They really
That's
can.
another style. That's another story.
Right.
We went to the Falcons game, and I remember walking because we would go and get sound bites from the athlete from the players after the game. And Griff was doing most of the sports then. And I remember just walking or trying to walk through like just the regular area. Right. And it was like, grip. And it was like, I was like, oh, I get it. Like, this is a whole thing. Like,
Real radio superstar.
I became what I dreamed of. And that's when I knew. That moment was like, oh, yeah, I'm about to do this thing. Let's see how far this goes.
I love it.
And I'm not even done yet.
Still going.
Yeah.
Now you're on TV, everything. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you can Google you and the movie will pull up.
You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that crazy?
You know what I'm saying?
Do your kids respect your gangster? As far as it, because one of my daughters told me she didn't want me to come to her school.
Oh, I'm so not cool.
Yeah, she was like, I don't want you because I don't want everybody giving me mixtapes. And I was like, what?
My God.
I'm your daddy. I'm coming to the school.
I was like, I tell him, I was like, I'm a cool mom. Look how I dress. Look at my face. That's what I tell him all the time.
Like, we wear the same type of shoes.
Right, exactly.
I love this generation, like our like generation with our kids.
Yeah.
Who wear similar clothes.
I swear we do. Like, I'm like, my husband's like, whose are these? Whose shoes are these? I'm like, those are Bailey's. Those are mommy's, like, because we literally all their feet are bigger than mine. They've grown up in it. But when we go out, especially during the pandemic, when we're still wearing masks and people still know me, they're like, oh my God, are you serious?
Do you know? And here's the question.
When they walk away, do you know that person?
I bet if our kids being petty.
I'll be like, yeah. But I'm like, a lot of times I don't remember. But I'm like, and in that moment, it's a teachable moment. I was like, you treat everybody the same. If they recognize you, you ask them, I'm always like, what's your name? How you doing? Thank you so much for the love. Like, I really do. Right. Because they're like, oh, Mom, you talk to everybody. I'm like,
it's reciprocated. You have to do that.
And you just never know what day what type of day that person is having. Right. And your interaction could have saved them from ending their lives, from doing anything that they may have been contemplating doing that day. Like, man, Reece, he showed me love, or Rashan showed me love. Ain't nobody showed me love in like 3 weeks. Yeah. Now I feel it's a small gesture.
They may be getting bullied or talked about bad on social media. Now you've made that person's day. I always say this: we sell smiles.
Yes.
Right. That's what we sell. Really, we literally sell smiles.
Yeah.
The second level of that is sometimes people show you their receipts.
Yeah.
So you gotta appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So That's it.
Shout out to you being a cool mama.
Thank you.
I'll vouch for you on the internet.
Thank you. I'm trying to tell her. I'm like, look, I'm fresh. I got my little Adidas dress on today with the matching Adidas shoes. Come on.
Right. I know I had to put my footwork right. You know, today I knew your footwork was gonna be ridiculous. I've been wearing Jordan 1s all week. I was like, I'm gonna throw some loafers on today, do something different.
Yeah.
You're not about to outshine me in the studio.
Listen, it's your show. I can't.
Yeah, no, but it is all about you today. All right, you guys, we appreciate you. Let me hit this hype bell one more time. And thank you so much for coming through and kicking it.
Yes, my pleasure. This is great.
I know you busy as a mother, so it's really, really appreciated. Let me give you guys our Pops Knows Best of Reese's Peace of Mind for the day. Today, this young woman is the epitome of this saying, always come with your best performance no matter what the height of the stage is. That's the word for the day. I want you guys to keep that in mind. You never know who is looking or who is watching, and even if nobody's watching, what'd you say, Rashan?
Well, still do the right thing.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, get up out of here. We about to get into this mix with my homie DJ Decepticon right here. Do not move. This is Reec Radio.